an adjacent reality to our own. No clip in the context of the post is in reference to video games, where you can sometimes make it through walls or other obstacles you're not meant to and end up in weird places never meant for the player. Backrooms are tied very closely with the idea of liminal space. Liminal generally refers to the process of transition, and specifically the idea of a threshold. Now, the transition can mean a personal change, but it can also mean the point where our perception becomes limited. Think of a boundary or a border space. Often liminality, when used in psychology or sociology, is closely tied to feelings of, well, disorientation. I'll get to liminal spaces in a second because that's what this is really about, but the idea of liminality is very interesting on its own and helps understand the feelings that you might have when looking at some of the pictures we'll discuss in a second. For example, think about how strange it feels on the day of graduation or the night of prom when you're on that threshold of leaving a major point in your life, or that feeling when you know you're going to see someone for the last time, or the feeling of witnessing a major event, like if you were old enough for 9/11. Liminal spaces are meant to be a physical representation of this idea of transition, oftentimes emptiness, abandonedness, something very distinct from creepy, at least when done properly. Now, given how popular liminal spaces are on the internet, this can be done to various effectiveness, but the best liminal spaces mix the unsettling with the familiar, and at least as I experience them, often call back in some strange way to childhood. And to me, it's not really surprising if you Google images of liminal spaces, you will see lots of strange or new elements that are introduced in childhood, but that feel definitely a little weird, outside your normal comfort zone. Hotels, for example, hotel pools. A fairly common experience for childhood, one that takes you outside of your home and also, I think, your comfort level. You also have schools or malls at night, places that normally have one feeling transitioning to something completely different and new when people aren't there. And some of it is just also hard to explain, but there does seem to be a sort of understanding of what a liminal space should feel like, even if it's somewhat hard to describe. I think, strangely enough, really good examples of liminal spaces can be found in the original Halo game. That's both multiplayer and single player. I might talk about this in the future because I find it very interesting, but Halo single player has a very strange feel to it, especially in its quieter moments. It can genuinely be a little unsettling, and I think that's partially because you're on this massive structure with almost nonsense geometry, but it is in this weird transition state. It's ancient, it's empty, its original caretakers are gone, it's very ambient with the massive skyboxes and whatnot. It just feels like you're somewhere off. I think that feeling can also be found if you play multiplayer, especially without anybody else, and just walk around the maps. It's definitely a strange experience. But let's get back to the idea of the backrooms and talk about the actual short film that we'll be discussing today. So the backrooms are an example of a liminal space. Not all liminal spaces are backrooms, but the backrooms are one example. I think the weird feeling from the backrooms probably comes from the fact that as children, or maybe even adults, we've all been in strange office buildings or places that didn't make sense to us at the time. Or you go behind the counter to an office and you're just seeing this whole other world, and it is very strange. I think that's what the backrooms really capture, especially with the weird mundane aspect of office life. The curtain, the buzzing lights, etc. Anyway, since the original creation of the backrooms on 4chan, there have been a variety of games, videos, and more, all covering the backrooms and fleshing it out. Often they have very similar qualities. The backrooms are infinite. Once you accidentally find your way into them, there's no way out, and often there is some sort of beast behind the curtain. This is not a pleasant place to be. It's not a place where humans are meant to be, and as I mentioned, it's a place beyond all understanding. Moving now to the phenomenal short film by Kane Pixels, we can see that it's presented in this sort of VHS retro format, which for some reason fits this aesthetic so well. I kind of wonder whether that's because a lot of people who consume this type of content were growing up when VHS was popular. I'd like to speak to some older people and ask them whether this aesthetic gives them the same sort of feeling. I think that could be interesting, but anyway. What's really well done about this short film is that it captures the endless and absurd nature of the backroom so well. It's just repeated rooms, hallways, some which aren't even accessible, but which also plainly do not have any real function. Eventually, the cameraman and finds some graffiti which tells him not to move, and we get our first glimpse, or first really good glimpse, at the monster which inhabits the back rooms. To me, I find that the beast has always been the least interesting part of this creepypasta. It's one that I don't think hits on an emotional level or any sort of psychological level, other than the fact that it would be scary to be stuck in these back rooms with a terrifying monster. But I do really like the design in this short here. It doesn't make a sound of a predator, it's just like a wailing analog sound, which itself is even more disturbing. Anyway, fleeing, the cameraman continues through the back rooms. He finds several different room designs and eventually comes out into what really reminds me, funny enough, of the map boarding action from Halo CE. Massive corridors overlooking space. I think one of the best parts about the back rooms as an idea is that it's attempting to give some sort of interesting backstory to strange feelings that we've almost all felt. I think from that perspective, the back rooms work well, almost like a Matrix analog. In the Matrix, they have their own sort of back rooms, and I can imagine that maybe that's what the original poster on 4chan was intending for us to feel, and what this short film is intending for us to feel as well. The back rooms are a way to navigate our world in a very different way, or by a very different creature. They're somehow intrinsically connected to the real world, but also different. And at the very end, we do see that the camera no-clips out through the back rooms into the real world, presumably without the cameraman, just as he enters at the beginning without any real explanation. The creature itself, we also get a look at the very end, and it also feels like something out of a childhood. To me, it looks like the real-life version of a glitch that would scare the hell out of you in an old N64 game or an old PlayStation game. Here's a little personal story to end the video off with before giving my final thoughts. When I was a kid, I had the Mission Impossible game for the N64. There was one level where you had to go into this, it was like a ballroom or a party, and there was a guy playing the piano. I doubt I'll ever be able to find a video or a reproduction of what happened ever, but the game glitched in a way that as a child I just did not understand. Now, there's a simple explanation for this, and as an adult I probably would have been frustrated, but as a child who only understood rigidity and thought that there was rules for everything that would always be followed, it was extremely creepy. The music didn't play properly, the man who played the piano wasn't in the position he should have been, he was moving strangely around the map. I don't even really remember what happened. All I remember is the feeling that I got, just that something was wrong. Sort of the same idea as the back rooms. There's some dark or strange undercurrent to the whole world you don't quite understand. To me, the monster is sort of a real life, in the video at least, version of those feelings, and that's why I think it works really well for the back rooms. So just in summary, this is a phenomenal short film by Kane Pixels. It's incredible what this individual meant to do. How he actually made this, I'm not sure. It seems like it is a mix between animation and live action camera movements. Either way, really spot on, and to me, it manages to capture the spirit of the back rooms. Just my opinion though, what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of liminal spaces? Do you find them interesting? What's one that comes to your mind when I describe liminal spaces? And also, what do you think of the back rooms? Is there some hidden purpose within the fiction, or is it just meant to attach a scary feeling to this sensation that a lot of us have experienced? Let me know all of that more down in the comments. Again, if you like videos like this, please drop a like and let me know. I'll be happy to do more in the future. Till next time, guys, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on the Brugly channel. I'm your host, Brugly, and in this video I want to go over Backrooms level 1000. Now I know what you're thinking. Brugly, this isn't on the Wikidot. I know, it's from the fandom. But the Wikidot doesn't have any of Cluster 2, so I decided to just hop over to the fandom to go over this one time. Hopefully you enjoy it. Nevertheless, it's still an interesting level. Without further ado, let's get into it. Level 1000, aka the Cardinal level, is the level that kicks off the second cluster, or the second set of 1000 levels in the backrooms. So level 0 through 999 is cluster 1, and level 1000 to level 2000 is cluster 2. Fact. It's classified as a class 2 difficulty and is unsafe, but it's kind of secure because it's not like changing that much. You'll get what I mean in a second. The level looks like a conglomeration of random hallways and pathways with tan concrete walls and shaggy blue carpet. Some people say that it kind of resembles level 0, but like in a weird, concrete, urban way. The level has tons of old furniture in the hallways, like couches and fans and tables, beds, nightstands, you know, typical household stuff. But it's all really old and it looks used, which is kind of nasty if you think about it. Sometimes there will be a random wooden door on either side of the concrete hallways, and if you open these doors, you'll be led right into a room with a ton of supplies in them. Supplies like food, almond water, you know.
At Domino's, we are all about variety. Pizza and oven-baked sandwiches? Delicious. Pasta and bread twists? Delicious. Choose any two or more and order now at Domino's.com.
My finances were all over the place. And my banking relationship was getting, well, complicated. So I broke up with my messy account and used my money so far. Now I earn higher interest on my company savings. And file and invest almost everywhere. Nice thing.
Break up with that baby. Get 1.25% interest and bank borrow and invest all in one. Plus, download the SoFi app and earn up to $300 when you set up an account. SoFi, get your money right.
That kind of supplies. And even though it's really rare, you can also find working computers in these storage rooms, sometimes, which could be useful if you're bored. The ceilings in this level have actually been discovered to have a ton of wires in them. And there's also like this weird piping up there too, and it's almond water that typically flows directly through the pipes. Now I know I just said there's wires in the ceiling, but not just a few wires. There's like a ton of electrical wires, huge groups and bundles of them, and they all lead somewhere. And this leads some people to believe that this level somehow powers all of Cluster 2. I don't know if it's true, but it might be. And some people even think that these pipes give almond water to the rest of the levels because they can't see what the pipes lead to. Pretty interesting theory. The floor of the level isn't just blue shag and carpet, because sometimes it's a really nasty wooden floor. And it can be very dangerous if it gets wet, because it can crack and you can just fall through it. If you walk far enough into the level, then you'll probably run across random boiler machines tucked away into these halls. It's best to avoid them because they literally have the chance of blowing up and exploding just right in front of your face. So avoid them at all costs. You know, unless you like getting exploded by a boiler. The deeper you go into the level, the less stable things get. For example, after a while, the lights will start working and they start flickering, and the carpet itself will get more wet, and the floor will start to just crack and break open. It's said to immediately turn around if you start seeing the halls deteriorate like this, to just go around the opposite way. But the weirdest thing about this level is that it's a place that people can no-clip directly into from reality. Now obviously people are most likely to no-clip into level 0, but some have reportedly been no-clipped directly into this level, level 1000. Now I gotta be honest, that would be terrible, because this level's more dangerous than level 0, and there's like no make base here to help you, so you're kinda screwed. There's also a really mysterious set of rooms in level 1000 called the White Rooms. And this area was discovered by someone named MULTIMEDIA. And it turns out the area is laid out exactly like the main section is, but every single surface is made out of a white reflective metal. And instead of the walls just being tan concrete with no windows, this section has blindingly bright windows and white walls, and these windows shine directly into the level and they reflect the glow off of all the floors and stuff. So it's blindingly bright. It's advised to not stay in this part of the level for long, because the brightest effects are sandy and becomes unreliable pretty quickly. On top of it being bright, this part of the level also causes your vision to go into black and white only, meaning you can't see color, which is pretty cool. Just kidding, that's terrible. And the only good part about this section is that there's been no entities reported. Speaking of entities, the only confirmed ones in the main parts are windows, smilers, dullers, hounds, and sometimes there's a death moth or two. Obviously, there isn't many of these entities since the level is only classified as Class 2, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe. But if you encounter any of these, just run away and they'll probably stop following you. Probably. To enter this level, you have to venture through level 999, which I'll leave a link down below to the video I made about it. It's a banger, but it explains what you have to do to get here. Check it out. And to exit the level, you can no-clip through a wall to be sent back to level 483, or you can walk through a random blue door to be sent to level Fun. Don't recommend that. Or you can find an entrance to a hotel corridor type area, and if you walk into that, you'll be sent to the next level, which is level 1001. Cool. Also, there are no bases here, so don't say I didn't talk about them or if I forgot them. They're just not here. So to summarize, level 1000, you've got a level of really windy hallways with blue, wet carpets and tan concrete walls, and a nasty, mildewy smell that goes on forever, and ever, and ever. There are random doors that open to supply rooms, and there's a chance, if you wander deep enough into the level, that you'll get to the White Rooms, which itself is a section full of blindingly white lights and reflective surfaces. That's pretty much it. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's the explanation of Backrooms level 1000. Hope you liked it. If you didn't, then I don't know what to tell you. You're a loser. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. And thank you so much just for everything on the channel, every support. Recently, it's just been insane. Thank you all so much. Make sure you check out my second channel. Turn post notice on over there because I'm stockpiling a bunch of videos to be uploaded. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get ready for that. I think you guys are going to like them. The story times are pretty epic. I'm not going to cap. Go check the description for any links you need, like Twitter, Discord, or whatever. And while you're down there, comment road to 200k because we're only 20k away from 200,000 subscribers. And if you comment road to 200k, I'll drop a heart on your comment. Because if you do that, you're a real one. Thank you to everyone for interacting with the content, leaving likes and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you to my patrons and channel members for supporting me a little bit extra and funding stuff like new audio equipment, new editing stuff. Just thank you all for everything. It means a lot. Thank you for watching and supporting me, and I will see you later. Burgley out.
Fantastic things start to happen when you step aboard a Princess Cruise. Doors open up for you, your favorite drinks start finding you, and everything seems to be just how you like it. How does it all happen? It's no secret. It's our job to discover what makes you feel special. Yes, you, and you too. Making sure you feel taken care of. That's what a Princess Cruise is all about. Get the Princess treatment with up to 40% off cruises to Alaska. cold smooth espresso meets creamy, refreshing coconut. Introducing coconut milk iced lattes at Dunkin'. It's a refreshing way to latte. Take a sip of You Got This with the new Dunkin' Coconut Milk Iced Latte. Order ahead plus earn rewards. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Brugly Valentine's Day special. This is a bonus video for the week, so you're still gonna get a new video on Wednesday and Friday. You're just getting this one extra. But I thought since it's Valentine's Day, I would compile all of the fan-made Backrooms Levels videos that I've ever made into one huge video for you all. Now, depending on how this video does, I might bring the fan-made level series back, so if you do want it to come back, make sure you let me know down below. This video will be over an hour long, so just sit back and relax and enjoy the soothing terrifyingness of the Backrooms. Let's get into it. Starting off the video, we have Smiler. Now, Smiler's created a ton of different levels for me, but the one I'm going to feature in this video is called Old Memories, or level 6.1. Smiler gave this level a difficulty of 5, but he also said it's safe and secure too, so I don't know how that works. But we'll go with it anyway. The level looks like your own house, and it's even got everything you had from real life, from your pets to your video games to your family, and it's very peaceful there. You can actually live here too, like they don't try to hurt you or anything. It almost sounds too good to be true though. But to enter this level, you have to be on level 6 and then have a mental breakdown. Yo, what? And when you do, an entity known as Lucy will approach you and say that she'll bring you somewhere safe where you can live peacefully. If you accept this offer, she'll bring you here. The only catch is that your family are actually holograms, so they're not actually like physical, but you can still see them and interact with them, so it's not that bad. And there is no outside of this house. Instead, it's just a black void, but outside of there, it's still a safe area. If you leave the house, you'll just be sent back to level 6, and the fridge inside of the house restocks with almond water every 4 days. And because of this, you can pretty much just live here semi-normally. But if you do want to leave, like I just said, you would just walk out the front door. I'd use this level to relax because there isn't any enemies in there, and plus it would be kind of nostalgic since it looks like home. Dope stuff, Smiler. Thank you for your support and your submission. Next up is Triple Fist level called Level Dollface. This level is classified as Class 2, and it's literally 100% impossible to die, except for like 1 or 2 very rare exceptions. And there are actually some helpful entities in this level, and we'll talk about them later down in this description. The level itself looks like an infinite expanse of fake grass that stretches north and south, and on the east and west, it stretches for about 5 meters. And then once you get past that 5-meter mark, there are 4-lane roads on each side with cars on them going like 150 miles an hour. Nice. And beyond those roads, there is an infinite line of Walmart stores that, like I said, are infinite and they repeat over and over again. And there are no differences in how they look, except some stores vary slightly in saturation on the colors of their buildings. But other than that, there's literally no difference. The level has no day-night cycle, and it's stuck at a constant 12 p.m. And all the watches and clocks in this level say the same thing, 12 p.m., so that's nice. If you somehow run in front of a car or, die somehow, you'll just respawn at the beginning of the level with all your stuff. There are actually 6 different zones to this level: the safe zone, the backyard, the friendly entity zone, the hostile entity zone, and the super safe zone, and then lastly, null. The backyard is about 100 miles from the start of the level, and you have to get in a car to get to these different zones. So the backyard zone is the exact same as the original zone, except the grass has random backyard items like sports balls, plants, and chairs, typical stuff like that will be in a backyard. There's a huge difference in hunger depletion. The friendly entity zone is one of 3 places where you can interact with the entities on this level, and it's about 500 miles from the spawn. Now, given by the level name, these entities are doll faces, and they refuse to attack you no matter what, so that's kind of nice. They also will give you helpful hints on how to leave the level. Now, the hostile entity zone is about 2,000 miles from spawn, and again, these entities are doll faces, but they're constantly hostile and they cannot be tamed except with super almond water. They refuse to actually kill you, but they will hurt you as much as possible without killing you, so that's nice. The super safe zone is the exact same as the safe zone, but it's physically impossible to cause harm to yourself at all, not even a scratch, and this is about 3,000 miles from spawn. The final zone is called Null. This is an area where it's a pitch black expanse and there's no Wi-Fi, no connections, no anything. And if you stay in this area for longer than 50 seconds, well, you're dead. So that's nice. As far as colonies and outposts go, there are none here. Nice. To enter this level, you have to obtain a doll face with an entity warder object, which is an object that can be found on level 0, and all creatures are afraid of it except for tamed doll faces. Now these are extremely rare and there's no concrete description of what they look like, but if you want to come here you have to find one. So to leave this level, you have to cross the road on one side of that grass expanse and get into a Walmart. And when you walk inside of the Walmart, there will be an entity warder there, and if you give one of the doll faces there, you'll be sent back to level 0. This was unlike any level that I've heard of. Like, it's so unique and random at the same time, but that's what makes the levels fun and interesting, how random they are. Thanks for your submission. Next is Fantina's level, called Home Sweet Home. This level is considered safe, and there are only 2 entities here. Even though it's labeled as safe, there is still a possibility for psychological stress to happen, such as symptoms of schizophrenia or sometimes severe depression. These effects will only last for as long as you're inside the home. Physically, the level looks like a rendered area of the city Pyongyang in North Korea. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And it has the exact same proportion as the real-life city too. The day-night cycle is exactly 3 hours, but there's no gradual transition between day and night actually, so it just happens instantly, like somebody's flipping your light switch off and on. There's a constant white material that resembles snowfall, except it's not snow, it's sulfur, but it's freezing cold, so it might as well be snow. And it's recommended to wear face masks when the sulfur is falling, so you don't inhale it. Through the entire level, there's a barely visible mist that has a purple tint to it that hovers over the buildings, and this prevents you from seeing the actual sky. You can just see the light that passes through it. When it turns to night, nothing eventful happens except some of the buildings turn their lights on and the street lamps come on as well. The only negative thing about the night is that the effects of the schizophrenia seem to be a lot worse here, and the paranoia will start to set in for some reason. The level does have some ambient sounds. It sounds like people talking or car sounds or bird noises, and there's even sounds of rain here, even though it never rains, so that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a white noise machine. Cars don't work on this level, and some of the buildings look like they're poorly textured or rendered, and they don't have any texture at all, and they kind of look like a bad video game. These spots are the best spots for no clipping. Only some of the buildings can actually be entered, and they've got some furniture and random papers and books and stuff like that, and all the text is obviously in Korean, and there's paintings of North Korea's leaders everywhere too. Nice. There are 2 entities here, like I said earlier. The first one is the citizen entity, and these are mannequins that are found all over the entire level. They have no face or any describing features, but there are male and female and children ones as well. They're dressed for a work day or whatever outing they're doing that day, and they look like they're on the way to their job, but they're constantly frozen in place. However, they do slightly move throughout the day, and then inexplicably they just go home at night, so that's cool. You can destroy these mannequins easily, but when you do, you'll get this huge rush of anguish and grief, almost like you just destroyed a real person, which is weird because they're mannequins. The other entity is called the Night Guard. Now these are kind of creepy. These are mannequins as well, but they're dressed like police officers in police uniforms, and they only become active the second the night starts. They have weapons and flashlights as well, and if they see you, they're gonna chase you. And to make it even creepier, they only move towards you when you blink. So if you blink, they move towards you, which is, yeah, okay, that's terrifying. If you're spotted, then they'll chase you and try to kill you, and if you die, well, it's unknown what happens to you. But some say you return to level 1. There's also a slight chance that the night guards will just arrest you instead of killing you, and they'll put you in jail for exactly 1 hour before releasing you. There are 5 ways to escape this level. One is through the sewers, which could take you to level 2, but the sewers are full of guards, so it's pretty dangerous and not advised. You can escape through getting inside of a car, which will knock you out, and then you'll wake up on level 69. You can jump off the edge of the area where the map ends, and sometimes you can just fall asleep on this level, and you'll end up on level 8. And the most common way to exit is you can escape through the offices that are in the office buildings, because there are some doors that just say exit on them, so that's convenient. To enter this level, you can no-clip through the floor on any level below 200 and end up here. Or you can watch the TV on level 42 that's displaying an invitation ad for this level, and then once you watch that ad, you'll wake up on this level, so that's nice. Those guards are terrifying though, how they only move when you blink, like that's nightmare-inducing stuff, but good stuff. Thank you for your submission. Next is Rob Lee's level, and it's level negative 333,556,789, and is classified as class 4. Now the level itself looks like a giant kids play area or a playhouse, and it's got over 3.4 billion square miles, so that's cool. There's also a bunch of mini levels inside of this level. We'll talk about those a little bit later. At the corners and at the very middle of the level, there are bottomless ball pits totally not creepy at all. But like I just said, there are 45 mini levels inside of this, and most of the entities are located on mini level 34. So this level is a hallway that has those bubble windows, like from the McDonald's playhouses in real life, and there are slide holes in the walls that you can get in and exit this level and go down to the lower level. To enter this level, you can go to a building on level 11 and jump off of the tall one, and you'll end up here, or you can no-click the floor on level 0. To exit this level, you can find the giant slide on top of the mini level, and if you slide down it, you'll exit to a ball pit at the end. Or you can no-click the wall on mini level 20, and this will take you to level 10. The normal entities here are partygoers and windows, and the custom entities are the ball pit creatures, tubes, and balloons. Ball pit creatures are black entities with smiler faces on them. They also have sharp claws but no legs, and they live in the bottom of ball pits. That's terrifying. The tube creature is a giant snake that resembles a slide, and they're mainly in the lower levels. Okay. And lastly, the balloon creature is, well, a balloon, and they'll float around.
Vamos a ver, tengo que comprar uno. Ahora se me recuerdo también.
Oh shit,
Te la
Twitch!
llevo. Ya mismo.
Your ass bitch make it wobble and jiggle. Your ass bitch make it wobble and jiggle.
Y'all ready for some new music? How you guys feeling out there? Let me know. All right, here's a brand new song. It's called Peace, Love, and Wubs featuring Kojax.
And now for our feature presentation.
Claro, todavía.
Why you lost the sauce, unconscious base face, it comes with a cost. It's the price that you pay, but it made it so boss. Sitting with the pharaohs, there's no honor amongst these. You might heard a lot of wolves, but there's no wolves like these. I got snakes in my grass, so I'm running with high knees. Secretariat, paying around like I was Harriet. The love's not the same for the game, that's why I married it. You could fit in my shoes, but the weight you couldn't carry it, so bear witness. Time travels closer than sickness. Cyborg, red eye built to go the distance. I'm an intergalactic soldier, putting you on my hit list. Peace, love, and wubs. Switch up.
It's a trip. It's got a funky beat, and I can bug out to it. Here we go. Oh my God.
shout out to anyone out there that's on FaceTime right now. Shout out to anyone that's on Zoom conference. We're making it work. We're connecting with our homies. That's the most important part.
Perhaps a further demonstration of my powers is necessary.
Ew, your planet is gross. Your planet is gross.
Cosmic child, are you ready to ascend into the astral dimensions? You have discovered the realm of frequency and light, beyond the edge of infinity. Welcome to the mind.
Ew, your planet is gross. Hello, humans.
Feel the energy in your vertebrae.
Who's going wild in the rave cave right now? Big shout out to everybody up in the chat right now. I love you guys so much.
Feel the energy in your vertebrae.
Haze all in my eyes. Don't know if it's day or night. You got me flowing on my mind. Is it too long or just the end of time? Haze all in my brain. Linking things just don't seem the same. They're funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Please.
Shout out to all my psychonauts and spiritual warriors out there.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side.
I just found out that we broke 10,000 people watching this right now. That is absolutely blowing my mind, and I don't even know what to tell you guys. Real quick though, you know what we're gonna do later if you stick around to the end? I'm gonna be doing a merch giveaway from the LS Stream merch store. And what you're gonna win is the I Am Base mint hoodie that I actually just restocked for this stream. So it's been sold out for a while. You can go grab that if you want right now and stick around to the end. Someone's gonna win.
Hello.
So we got 10,000 people watching.
Yeah,
Should we
mommy.
go a little harder right now? Should we
Go
turn the
ahead.
juice up? Put some exclamation points in the chat if we should turn the juice up right now.
Hacen como 10 la puesto, pero ustedes no me llaman ni nada. Hacen 2 días casi. Y la estaba llamando en la calle para que me dijera el nombre y tampoco me lo estaba dando. Le digo yo, le dije que me escribiera como 20 veces el nombre, pero me dijo que cuando llegara a la casa.
Shout out to everybody getting down at home, putting those good vibes out there right now. Here we go.
No, está bien, con cualquiera de ellos, ¿me entiendes? Pero lo único, como yo necesitaba el nombre para escribirlo bien. Eran 30, le mandé 25. Hay que pagar 5 por de la vaina. No, porque tuve que cambiarlo pues, en un NTM. Le quedan 2 pesos, le quedan 2 pesos a la tarjeta. Los supermercados no lo querían hacer. Lo tuve de otra manera. No querían hacerlo en los supermercados, por aquí. Pues yo tuve que, entonces me dijo un señor que yo podía ir al NTM y sacarlo con esa tarjeta. Pero me cobraban como 2 pesos, 3 pesos. La máquina de sacar dinero, ahí se saca el dinero. Yo no sabía ese ching. Yo lo podía sacar todo, pero yo no sabía cómo darle el botón de cómo elegir los 35 y además decía 30, o saqué 30, ¿verdad? Entonces de los 30 se cobraron 2 o 3 pesos de depósito. Se quedaron 2 pesos en la tarjeta suya. Se quedaron adentro. ¿Entendido? Entonces cuando lo quise sacar, los 2 pesos, ya no podía sacarlo. Porque era muy poco. Era muy poco, entonces no tenía el depósito para pagar la diferencia. No 5, sino como 3 pesos, 2 pesos de diferencia. Se quedaron 2 pesos en la tarjeta. Algo así, ¿me entiendes? Entonces los 25 se los mandé. Los 30 pesos pagué los 5 y le mandé 25. Ya, no me ha llegado nada de eso. Coño, pero no puede durar tanto eso, sí. Ya del 10 al 11 tienen que darse. Ya. Va a tener que darle de este también porque ya no le dieron de esto. No, ellos dicen, cuando yo chequeé, ahí le mandé un mensaje para que vea el video. Algo así, le van a mandar de nuevo 35. Pero no habla nada de lo otro. Tienen que estar activados porque si le están dando los 35. Es porque su caso está activado.
Let me see those plants in the chat. Plant.
Yo también. Está bien también. Está medio nublado. No, tenía que ir a comprar aguja y vaina. Por tatuaje. No. Muy clara, sí. También, gracias a Dios. Después también. Sí. Tiene que sacar a andar. Ya, no, claro. No, claro, ¿verdad?
What up, Twitch? What up?
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause.
No, pero bueno salir porque tiene que aprovechar los días que tiene allá, no es para que se tranca tampoco en la casa. Tienen que ser movidos porque si está allá, tú sabes, no tiene poco los días que tiene. Saben que se siente tranquila porque se siente en su casa, se siente así como despejada y chile. Está chido, ya rico, si lo que le digo, es lo que le dije a la señora, digo yo, aquí tú ves a la gente haciendo y sin nada, allá tú ves como va con su Santo Domingo, como rico. Eso va a quedar difícil, ¿verdad? Ella está loca por ir. Loca por ir para Santo Domingo. Y llevar a los niños también. No, porque los gallos, yo quiero ir los gallos. Como ese como así, como de la isla. Esto oye como los gallos, los caballos, los pajaritos. No mismo así en la ciudad. No, como cuando se oye en la mañana, tú sabes que como uno se levanta. No, después un día sacamos el pasaporte a los niños y corremos para allá un día.
What up, Subtronics?
No, pues yo la llamo después que tengo cosas que hacer. Mucha bendición. La pasé bien para allá y lo disfrute. ¿Y no han hecho cocinado? Ya. A mí me gusta eso, pechuga así como que tenemos con coco, sí. No, pues también, la vida es rico como usted dice. Muchachos, ¿para dónde quiere salir usted? Complines, comida, aire acondicionado, cable, marquesinas. Muchachos. Ya. ¿Por qué no pone la vaina de uña ella?
Up here. It's a real show, you guys. I'm sweaty as fuck right now.